Sherry. Hi, Polina. It's so good to talk to you. Nice to see you. Nice to hear you. Yeah, I'm so glad we get a chance to talk. I wish we could have done Skype, but I'm having a snowstorm right now. I have no internet. I'm actually sitting I'm parked next to a cell phone tower to make sure I have a cell phone connection because I live out in the countryside. I'm so glad to get to talk to you today. Oh my gosh. Is everything okay? Like, did you want to do another plan? Because I know what it's like to have bad internet. Like, what is most appropriate for you? Like, what is the best for you? Yeah, just sitting here is good. This is a good connection here. I'm pretty comfortable. I'm sitting in my Jeep and just hanging out, looking down in the valley and observing the deers walking across the field. And I just saw a little kitty cat running down the road. You know, it's funny that here you would think the deers would hide in the snow, but they seem to love the cold weather. They just run and play when it's really cold. So the deers are out and little kitty cats are out. Yeah, it's really nice here. I'm near the Mississippi River, and it's a beautiful area. Nice. So, is the connection good on your side? Because I'm getting slightly choppy reception. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you perfectly. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. I'm going to put this on speakerphone and make it a little louder. So I would like to, I'm recording this because I'm hoping to post it up on YouTube to get the word out about all the wonderful work that you do. So can I do a little introduction about you, and then I'd love to talk about some of your books. I just want to give people that might listen to this later, let them know. I found you on your YouTube channel, which is Polina Outkina, PolinaOutkina, Polina Outkina, just on YouTube. And then you have a great Facebook. It tells all your latest, adventures around the countryside with all your local community there. You also have Skype, Polina Outkina. You have a website, PolinaOutkina.com, where people can book personal consultations, written readings, psychic mentoring, where there's also on your website, I saw a blog, and it has a bunch of stuff about your books. You profess to be a nomad, a writer, a psychic, and a teacher, but I would basically call you an ascension coach, or a counselor like that. And one of your famous quotes that I love is, "Fate has room for play and miracles." I love that. So you have a bunch of books. Let me read the titles off. One is Relationships with Earth and Other Beings. Another one is A Tarot Immersion. Another one is Trauma and Forgiveness, My Journey Through Art. You have another one, Unleash the Beast, Thoughts on Self-Mastery. Another one is called Love Letters to Myself. I like that. And then you have another one, Quantum Leap, Hijack Your Reality. And then you do yearly astrological almanacs. So you're very productive. The almanacs help you thrive, strive, and break up old routines. I like that. And what's fascinating to me is in your almanacs is to talk about meteor showers. Nobody talks about meteor showers. That is so fascinating. So I love your insights and your stuff, and your dancing and singing is so inspired. And I was just curious about a lot of what inspires you to do things like, all your art and your dancing and your music. And what instruments do you play? I mean, I've seen you with like a little guitar. Is that so cute?
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's really nice to
few of the other people too. Just basically this serendipitous, oh, what if I'll just do this kind of stuff. Very structured. So I don't feel my life very clearly. I really tried to be all the stuff that other people want. Some people in the world, a lot of people that plan ahead and have a lot to consider their education, and they have their houses and they've got their families and they've got a lot of planning to do and a lot of things to answer for and everything like that. So I never really truly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Their trajectory is all planned out, and the timeline's all planned out. You got to follow it just right. I know exactly. I know tons of people like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I mean, yes. I mean, one of the ways that I see it is that I have very mild autism, but it's intense. It's intense sometimes as it comes and goes, and I don't really understand people as well as I think I should in the social sense, but I can see through them. Literally, like it's kind of just a I can sense different things inside a person's body or their mind very very fast. And I can pick up energies, but that social side is gone. All that stuff that usually people feel is gone. And I suppose the reason why I'm so productive is because there's basically nothing else I'd rather do. I walk out of situations very fast, so I don't really have anything tying me down. So there's no part of me that really wishes to conform to anything, and because the pride has disappeared a really long time ago, and perhaps I never really fully developed it, never had it. So the only thing that is left is to dance. Like sometimes with comedians or performers or entertainers, sometimes all they've got left is just their art. So it feels to me that there's like this inner child that never dies, and there's like a person that that's very incredibly old. So it's as if I'm looking at my life backwards, as if I'm designing my life backwards. So as if I'm very, very old and very young together. Yeah, so it's a very unusual state. And it's 24/7, and sometimes from what the spirit me, I talk to these beings, and they'll just start giving me information, and there'll just be an overflow of information. So sometimes they'll just write a book in a couple of days, or I'll do some writing or singing or other things. So between the clients that I have and the work that I do on YouTube, I mean, most of my life goes towards the perfection of my universe, as well as other ways of being creative. I'm very liberal to health and fitness, and trying to keep myself together, and working out new ways of hijacking my biology. So that's basically it. So it's just a constant work in progress. I don't really claim to be anything or anybody. It's just an over time evolution, I suppose. I'm just evolving, and it seems like I can't stop growing. It's very, very fun. And it's very fun. I can only stop for a minute. So sometimes I'd be dwelled where, because of the high voltage information energy, sometimes they'll be out for like 2 or 3 days, and sometimes even weeks, but otherwise it's always on. So it's a very different sort of like energy system I have, and also a very different drive. And I suppose because my belief system is completely different from other people, so basically I'm constantly consciously talking to God, so I'm constantly releasing certain chemicals, I think, that not really that normal to release, because it's always like being in a state of eureka, or on a state of self-forgiveness or self-reassociation. And it's like being a child and learning to walk again. And also have to say that when I was very young, and this is what my trauma and forgiveness book is about, I felt very hurt, or I felt very strange because of the things that were happening in my family. So I believe that there's also a process that is happening within me that never stops, because I never really had the chance to be a baby or a toddler because of my experience early in life. So it feels to me that there could have been perhaps have a psychological mutation that has taken place due to certain experiences that I had very early on in my life. So that energy, that feeling of life just beginning, is almost like a byproduct of some very horrible experiences that I had very early on. So in a way, that trauma has evolved me psychologically and energetically, which is an interesting sort of fact, I suppose. So I think it's partially that. So being always kind of in that maybe.
Yeah, I remember when you were always. I remember enjoying listening to a lot of stuff you were doing when you were in Mexico, and you were bubbling over, and then I noticed that kind of your energy started shifting a little, and then once you got to Peru, you had that bubbling over again, and I was like, she's in her element there in Peru. I could just tell, like, that place vibed with you. You were so happy when you got to Peru. And I was on your Facebook, and I saw the pictures of the community where you're at now. It looks so beautiful.
Yes, I suppose in Mexico was a very different journey. I actually had a system meltdown in USA, and when I came to Mexico, something just hit me. So for about 2 or 3 years, I've had some problems with endocrine health, I think, because I'm so overproductive, and sometimes my body just starts melting down, and also had a very unusual life. And I have to mention that life on the road as a nomad is very intriguing, but at the same time can be psychologically very unique, and also like belonging to nothing, having no really religion, but being kind of like this strange nerdy kid, it's like the first day at school, every time I join a different city and feeling like I suppose an offcut, like feeling very odd and never really being able to fit in, like this being very taxing on me. So I actually had a lot of endocrine system issues, and I had a couple of times when I've been offered to leave my body, and I have considered it, and I've been considering it for actually decades. But the reason that I am, very healthy now and very strong, and what happened by the end of Mexico is basically I took a lot of plants, I took a lot of psychedelics, and I was taking part in plant ceremonies sometimes once or twice a week for a good 3 months, and I think that has made me, and I also started a raw diet, and I went to the gym a lot, and I really wanted to kick my body back into serotonin production and things like that, and I really wanted to start over. So I think maybe why my energy has slumped a bit was because I went into La La Land for a little bit in order to kick my endocrine system.
Yeah. So have you always been knowledgeable about the Chinese astrology? Because I love how you weave all that Chinese stuff into everything. It all makes sense when you look at the big picture. And I feel if without that, you're actually missing a lot. Has that always been like a big part of your understanding of how things work?
Thank you so much for noticing. Really religious. I'm really moved by your knowledge of my materials. Really awesome. It just came to me. So all of that which I do online, I have to tell you this, came to me basically over just a few days. I have to say, when I was a child and I was about 8 years old, I didn't really read. I couldn't find a place, and I found those and astrology books just because I found them really curious. My mother was an avid reader. She read a lot of esoteric and spiritual literature, and I've never been into it except for astrology, just because I like the pictures. It's as basic as that. I love the pictures. I love the analogy. I remember that everybody started in my class. I learned very basic astrology as a child, which of course is really weird. And then in 2015, I had a big meltdown, a big awakening, and basically in just 2 days, I've downloaded the whole system. So I allowed it to embed in my form. So I basically let it settle within my biology, and it would show it to me as a cosmic movement within the 1B was creation in just 1 or 2 days, and then everything I just channeled. I mean, it sounds really crazy, but anything from asteroids to smaller planets to less familiar elements and less familiar
aspects of the sky, different conjunctions, different alignments. All of that came to me overnight, and I also started writing a book of poetry and channeling poetry. And that's actually how I got most of my following on YouTube, is because my first few videos were entirely channeled. So they were basically like poetic videos. So they were all freestyle poetry that I made up on the spot. And it was very true. And it's really freaky. Like, it was just matching. To the point now where I'm doing predictions for people for the year ahead, and it's very accurate. So it's basically right. And that's, I suppose, what channeling is. In terms of Chinese astrology, it just came to me, so I just was curious about it. When I tapped into the system, it felt very, very real, and I also noticed that it is very solar-based. Because Western astrology has a lot of nuances that works with shadow and color and different elements and different nuances, you know. It is very, very good, and it's actually very incredible to see what Western astrology can reach. Also, Vedic astrology is interesting. When I look into Vedic astrology, I see plants, and I see different algorithms that make the natural world by the plant world first. So I see, I suppose, creation from the roots of it. Very interesting, actually, because every nakshatra, every Vedic sign to me is a plant, or like a certain structure of a plant or flower. Oh, you've got to write about that. Oh, you've got to write about that. That sounds fascinating. Oh, wow. But it all comes in. It all trickles down. So all the information that I've ever known, also about maybe numbers and other things and different types of energy, it all funnels down into the final insight. So Chinese astrology, only little aspects of that. But I believe the Chinese system is very proud, very bold. It's very lush. I feel their understanding of the world and the universe is very rich. Like, it feels like the energy is very strong and it's very prime colors. So I really enjoy working with Chinese astrology because it has a very optimistic and a very fine center point. So eventually it always leads to that nice feeling of wow, life. Like, wow, life. So I really enjoy working with Chinese astrology simply because of its frequency. But everything that I do online is basically a funnel, like a funneled version, like a streamed version of all the different aspects that are happening right now. And I also have to say that not a lot of astrologers probably know of the different nuances in the sky, you know, the tiny planets like Lucky and Aries, and, you know, aspects like Lilith and Chiron, and, you know, nobody really talks about this, but it actually has a huge ripple effect. All those tiny little alignments and also like how they shuffle between each other, no retrograde. It's a very, very fine universe. So it's really hard to just go by the basic few planets because, you know, like, there's not enough information in a collective whole. There's not enough global understanding of all these little shuffles that all these little asteroids and planets make, and also the moons, you know, like, there are moons around, you know, like Saturn and stuff, you know, like Saturn has moons, and we don't really know about that. And also, Mars has moons. Exactly. We also don't know that it's allowed to be moons change its mood. So Saturn also has a mood. So, for example, you know, the fact that Saturn is in Aquarius is fantastic, but we also don't know what he's feeling, you know, based on these little alignments, and what is his relationship to Juno, for example. You know, there's so many little tiny intricate details that I think are almost impossible to learn. I think that to be a good astrologer, you've got to be an intuitive, psychic person to really catch those nuances. But, you know, for people that are just outlining the bold, the big, strong changes, you know, there's always a place, of course, you know, but it's also very perfect to just, to really catch the spirit of it all. It's a little bit difficult all at once, unless there's some kind of intuitive guidance behind it. Yeah, I think a lot of, like, popular astrologers, they just try to keep people from driving into the ditch, you know, but they don't really let you know about all the little trails in the forest, you know, they just, like, keep it on the road and don't drive into the ditch. And when it seems to me, I might be wrong, but it seems like Hellenistic stuff, the Greek astrology tradition, is a lot more about the secret inner workings of people, whereas the Chinese, like you said, is more bold. It's like your outer coat, or like your outward expressions and your more dynamic outward kind of facing kind of energy the astrology of the aspirant seems a lot more like internal workings. Do you think am I kind of feeling that out right, do you think?
Yeah, I also agree with you. Also, we have to consider the Greek. It is difficult to our heads around, like, quirky when we think about it. And, I may as well start my channel again and, cater to all 13 clients, but at the same time, I understand that there's a mainstream belief, and that's okay. And to a degree, also conform to the mainstream belief, like my almanac for the year, my diary for the year starts on January, even though I believe that the year starts in March, because I do understand that there are some people that are going to, Google the 12 signs, or they're going to be interested, and it's okay. But it's all very fluid, like how we measure time, also, how we, work with a week, what is a working week, and what are those 7 days and why they're in place, they're all very, very conflicting, I suppose. And then there's also other astrological beliefs, there's a Mayan calendar, there's a Native American calendar, there's a Druidian calendar, there's lots of different ways to associate. Yeah.
Huh. That is so interesting. So what do you think is like the most important way to use a new moon or a full moon, like to incorporate that in our life? I mean, obviously the new moon is kind of like a beginning, and the full moon is like a culmination. Would that be like a good time to start a diet or to start a big change in your life or something? How can we use that? Like, how is
very interesting. I mean, to me, the moon is a very unusual aspect in astrology in general. I think it's a very unique aspect. I'm one of those nutty people that don't believe that the moon is an organic part of our system. So, it's not something that I really truly came to believe, but it's just something that I came to feel. So, I've worked very hard for the last maybe year and a half, so 2 years, year and a half, as a trying to stable my moon. So what I mean is I'm trying to work with my moon energy, my emotional energy, that emotional, it's not really emotion. It's like that neediness, that moon sort of controls me in a person. I'm trying to work with it. I've been trying to work with it through predicting every day for myself, and also certain experiences in my life. And I've been basically trying, this is actually kind of really quirky, yeah? I've been trying to debunk my spirit, and I've been trying to ascend through the sound only. So I'm trying to embody, I suppose what people say is Christ consciousness, solar consciousness, or soul consciousness, and I'm not too good with that stuff, or that other stuff. So for me, in my world, the moon is not something to be tempered with specifically, but over time, through belief, through trust, through cleansing, through emotional and physical reconsideration, we can actually start to switch that off. So in my case, I mean, this sounds like really crazy. I'm working entirely through essence, and so feeling of the all, so that light essence, and also mathematics to a degree. And every speculation, every time that I get down, every time I don't know what to do with myself, that mystery moment, I try to debunk it and basically go directly towards that greater path, which I believe is the soul of path. So in my case, I've made it very strict to do that. So since I've been learning to heal my lungs, heal my body, try and kick in my endocrine system, trying to kick in these certain processes. One of the reasons that I think I've succeeded to a degree is because I've made it very clear for myself that I wanted to be lunar-free. So how can I say, without these tides? And I know that's like kind of impossible, like as I'm talking about it, like, people say, of course, the moon controls the tides, the moon is a given, but I trust that for a lot of people, there are not going to be that many pulls and pushes, also with the north and the south nodes, so there are some indicator influences within, so the intense and the passive self start to become kind of merged into this overall. So it's like a very Buddhist sort of Zen sort of a feel at the end of the day. It's like trying to debunk the north and the south nodes, and trying not to pull or push too much, and just allow it to be an easy ride, and fill that space with freedom, or fill that
space of trust in God or trust in nature, trust in the natural world. I'm not quite sure how it's happened, but it's actually come true for me. So I'm just like basically watching life with it appears, and I'm starting to more from these pools and wells, that the bird provides. Yeah, for most of us, it's true. For like gardeners, like planting on the, harvesting on the moon.
I'm kind of obsessed with the moon in a way, so I appreciate that you gravitate away from the moon because I'm a little overly obsessed about it and overly thinking about it, and maybe I feel like I get too hung up on that. And I appreciate your perspective that's different. You're like the boat on top of the tide instead of the fish forced to swim in the tide, You kind of float above it all, and I appreciate that about your perspective. It seems like much more enlightened because you're at the higher level.
I'm not sure. Basically, I just treat myself as an experiment. I don't know if you want the benefits from it. It's fantastic. It's just that I had so many feelings, and I had so many desires and dreams and fears and unconscious worlds of energy that I couldn't even decide what I was feeling. Like, I had so many different feelings. And I had actually really harsh moon first house, moon conjunct Saturn and Scorpio. Yeah, very, very harsh moon. Very harsh. And also my south node is in Scorpio, my north is in Taurus. So it's like a very needy energy, and I wanted all my life to feel nothing less but just peace and beauty. So I'm kind of learning to do that. The only thing that I have to say this, as I have started to become more solar, my life has accelerated so fast. And I basically don't know how to afford those loans anymore. Those feelings of introspection and or those feelings of having to emotionally regain self-connection or self-respect. All these human things are gone. I'm just basically, how can I say, it's almost like mechanical. I'm just pushing out information. I'm just running around, going to different events, socializing. It's very interesting. It's very beautiful and it's ridiculous. It's so beautiful, but at the same time, that previous ebb and flow, that previous romanticism of life is gone. So it's like, why being the memories green? Also, moon and on some level represents mother memories, hereditary patterns, everything like that. And that's very hard because it's almost like I don't have a future or a past. So in terms of my relationship with the moon, I'm still quite happy. I don't think I'm quite happy to exist. It's just that I don't really. I don't know, I see myself in the previous way, so with the previous self-perception is completely wiped out. So it's an interesting evolution. Yeah. I would definitely actually advise anybody to work with the moon and understand if you want to. You can, if you're an astrologer, if you're quite savvy, look at where the moon is today, tomorrow, any day, and just basically see what that really means and how it affects your sign and how it affects your sun as well. A lot of other aspects of yourself. So just basically challenge yourself not to fall into those ruts and not to accept those illusions and also mysteries. Yeah. So that the moon kind of provides a big gap between things. And I think there's definitely with the North and the South Node, Raku and Keva's story, it is definitely part of the human samsara wheel, why we go through certain experiences, why we're never happy, why we addicted to things, why we go in circles, all of that stuff. So, and at the same time, it is interesting as emotion, so I fully respect the traditional way of going by the moon, quarter moons, and, full and new moons, definitely. The choice of yours, I think it's important to see your chart holistically and in what area of your chart the moon lands and how it affects different signs. Also, the most interesting thing about the moon that I'm actually noticing is that it makes things easier, but it also makes us discontent. So, for example, if it lands in a different house, it might make it easier to feel or to breathe or to feel happy or to feel content, but at the same time, it might also bring about a childhood memory or like a feeling of the old way in which you were. So, for example, so it has an interesting way of alleviating a lot of stress and pain and depression. Also, giving new depth of rules or words or feelings or memories. So it's kind of like pulls something up and pushes something down. So it's very peculiar aspect for me. Because maybe it pulls on our, like you're saying, like the endocrine systems and stuff. Maybe because it tugs on our chemistry more, being so close to the earth, that pulls up that, stimulating the emotional stuff that bubbles up. I find that I do get more emotional on the full moon. I do gotta ask you. I have to ask you a question about the ayahuasca. What is the snake lady? I know it sounds like a great question. I heard so many people that come back from their ayahuasca ritual and they're like, I met this snake lady or I met this lady spirit. What do you think is that guiding voice that people keep in touch with? I mean, we got to at least touch on that since you know more about this than I do. I am so curious about that. Okay, well, this is interesting because my vision never had any personified characters or the memory. So I'm very in my chemical balance, there's not really that part that really wants to see anything surreal. So it never really happened. I only very rarely have visions on ayahuasca. I want to just go directly into the overall process. So I use it as a mop. So I basically clean up my life. I try to tap into the different body parts and work out what's inside and learn how to upgrade my DNA. So my process is entirely different. But because of the vision, maybe the myths also, yes, I suppose the wine, the ayahuasca wine does look like a snake. And there's some people that claim to see snakes. I had a shaman in Melbourne that claimed to have 3 different snakes, like winged serpents that, would talk and, tell certain information. Also, I had people see snakes around me and things like that. I don't quite know. Perhaps through the nature of the plant, comes a metaphor or like a visual representation. It is very inquisitive. So I do have to say that ayahuasca is one of the most inquisitive spirits. It asks you to see something and then it helps you out of that into another door and another door and another door. So it's kind of like a never-ending exploration. So one of the greatest things about ayahuasca is that it does sort of work like a snake. Because, for example, the question would be, say, about your mother, and then it will lead you to the family, and then you'll go to a family tree, and then it will go into your blood system, and all the different types of blood systems that you have that correlates with certain gene, and things like that, or like work within a certain rhythm or nature. So it does sort of like work in a very interesting way, where it touches multiple things at once, and it wants you to see the journey or the continuation of thought. So it doesn't just give you one answer, like a real human conversation along. Yeah. So a lot of people probably project that because it's easier for them to contact their own self by projecting out a spirit. I know that in Native American stuff, to project out a bear spirit or something, it makes it easier to connect that part of your own self and to flow through a lot of that. What is with the diet though? Don't they say you should have a diet before you do plant medicines? Yeah, to me this is very, very, very important. It is a chemical reaction. I mean, this is a huge part of human evolution. So there are lots of different ways in which different substances organize our minds. Our consciousness, of course, it's like, what you eat, so if you eat celery and carrots and hummus, or if you eat, that's like pizza, there's a huge difference, of course, and everything has food, everything has soul, everything has certain chemicals, everything has something, everything has a message. So I believe we're here to learn, and I think one of the parts of the learning process on this planet is diet and sleep and just simple things like temperature, walking, doing simple things. So I think that diet is one of the primary ways in which we study ourselves and the outer world. And also, if you want to be more like your environment, it is good to buy local. Also, like just the other day, I was eating potatoes with skins on them. So I made a little bit of potato with skin, and I ate the skin, and the experts were telling me how if I ate a lot of potato with the skin, not truly washed, I would become more like the land here in Peru. So I would become more like the land. So it's all very interesting. It's very huge, like think about, what we eat. And I understand why, and I'm a great believer in a mostly raw diet for those of us that are, but sometimes we can fall backwards and we want that comfort that we get from an agricultural food base, which is absolutely okay. And also, when we think of the human evolution and how we come to be who we are, and how we've come to settle into villages and the different types of towns, with transforming settlements and things like that. And what has made us what we are, what has made us want the things that we want, what has created greed in our lives. And also, actually, when it comes to greed and obsession, I think one of the greatest ways of damaging that feeling is through recognizing your environment and also your diet and your potential. So it seems to me that diet is one of the key elements in terms of solving a lot of mental and spiritual karma as well as physical karma.
Yeah, it's almost like the eyes with greed. It's the eyes that are hungry instead of allowing the body to be hungry or the stomach to be hungry or, the taste buds to be hungry. A lot of people, they want to feel with their fingertips and see with their eyes. And I feel in my own view of things that sometimes the different body parts are allowed to be greedy, in a way, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, some people that are really hardcore into detoxing and things, they even say that when you think you want that piece of cake, it's not actually you that wants a piece of cake, it's more the balance of bacteria and the different parasites and beings inside of yourself that need that cake. So some people argue that it is candida that actually wants to be fed within the body or a certain organism, and I'd have to probably trust that. I also have to say that I've really, I feel like I've gone far in the last few years because I've been dieting a lot and I've been actually choosing different things every time and then shifting my consciousness for the different places I've been living and also the different diet I've been choosing for different parts of my life. And cleansing and detox have been the main crux of my and health, I think, the main crux of my success eventually, and that has really helped me with a lot of things, a lot of things. And I have to say that,
the detox has helped me too. Just cutting things out for a month, and it's wow, after a month, why was I even eating that in the first place? I didn't even miss it.
Really amazing, and I'll have to say that my life has changed drastically numerous times, multiple times, simply by choosing to detox. And I also have seen miraculous differences in my social life specifically. My personal life, private life, also my living situations have changed and the people around me have shifted in energy when I have detoxed. So I think also when you detox, you no longer look for certain behaviors and certain unconscious or subliminal experiences. And it also feels to me that you will choose higher essences and higher grade individuals and higher emotional paths or conversations or ways to entertain yourself or ways to learn. So in the hygiene, in the hygiene, I feel for some people can really control their experience externally. So it is not about controlling, it's not about judging, it's not about which place do I go, what person do I interact with, how close do I let certain people to me. And I found it very, very hard to do that, So being a bit autistic, it's really hard to understand who is who and not really having any particular understanding of what the other people around me feeling sometimes or what they're meaning. It's really ironic. So being very blindsided, I've stepped into quite a few puddles. But the way that I've done it recently is I just gone with the basic given and also the diet. The diet protected me from a lot of experiences that I would have been programmed to have. And also have very severe family karma. So I have to say that you can reprogram very very severe things, even, for example, choosing toxic partners or choosing to be in a martyr state or choosing to be subservient, anything like that that is just really ironed into the genetic hole. I so appreciate your time. This has been a great conversation. I hope we can have more conversations in the future. I really appreciate you answering all of my questions and stuff. And I am looking forward to, all the books and blogs and stuff you write. You're such a productive person. And your videos on YouTube, of course, are always they're firm with your information, but you deliver it in such a sweet way, in such a beautiful way, that the message is just so easy to digest in a way. And I really appreciate that about your delivery, the way you deliver your message. It's just so gentle, but the information is firm and solid, And you have a great style that way. And I guess we can wrap it up here. I'm going to post this up on YouTube so other people can get this wonderful information. And is there any other thing you want to do? What do you have anything coming up soon in your community? Or I know you're always doing events. I think I should probably say a few things about the coming times. Just very quickly, in terms of where I believe we're going psychologically, socially, and spiritually as a people, I feel that we are asked to really face the call of the heart. Just do it. Just do it anyway. So if you've always wanted to say that thing. If you've always wanted to wear beautiful colors, if you wanted to always play violin or, I don't know, be that person. If you've got things in your heart that you want to express, I feel that we're really getting there as a species. I think a lot of our success later, monetary success, family success, social success is going to be very dependent on that openness that nature, I trust, is asking us to have. So we cannot any longer speculate and trust logic. I think that it is more important to walk with yourself and know yourself and take yourself along to all those beautiful places that are coming open, all those beautiful experiences, all those beautiful groups and people that I feel are going to really help you. And anyway, I feel that we really need to be as a one. Also, there's been this coming age of Aquarius. Some people believe that Saturn and Jupiter conjunction in December was part of an opening towards more greater age or greater era for us. And I do trust, actually, with the energies that are around us at the moment, that this is actually possible, that this is actually possibly true. And that makes me feel that we need to have conscious openness and belief within ourselves and our soul, our heart, and not shun the inner child that always wants to draw and talk about things or that likes certain books. So return to the authentic self that somebody was incredibly better than you from birth. You probably already had everything that you needed to have for the rest of your life surface before the age of 5 or 6.
But we've been waiting, and instead it's now.
Yeah. It's all going to come true. If you would like, it will come true. It is nature's asking, it's would you rather work? Would you rather have these forms of marriage? Would you rather have that or this? Or do you want to just make it come true? So I believe that some people are very much not in love with their previous choices anymore and will really in the wealth shine.
Wow. That is so true. And I love talking to you. You're so cool. Well, that is so sweet. And I can't really think of any more questions. I've pestered you with so many questions today. You answered everything so sweetly. Thank you so much. And I guess I'm going to sign off now. And I hope that the rest of your day goes well and your little your community events with the children there. Oh, that sounds so sweet. I can't wait to see you post on Facebook about that. And I hope you have a great day.
It's a song about bad things happening between people. Okay. Tereko quieren paz, solo paz. Que daría meta quieren saria. Kurome teri pai sorima teriyamake fire l'amor koimato yeah. Kue itare maia sola tiro pai amo koie somea ia solia durema solia io che aio me tu que hay me tu Suliako eta hiam o tiore pai que ayu ima tu si e poiako durem akoyam Kurimbe sombaro Kurimbe somapo a você como amore mai tu me some che ho mato chiaro saetero mia ore magia sonile Сбрось свои привязанности, брось заблуждения, лети в пространство за этим наваждением. You are forever pure, you are forever true, and the dream of this world can never touch you. So give up your attachment, give up your confusion, and fly to the space that's beyond all illusion. Eres siempre puro, eres verdadero, y el sueño del mundo no te tocará. Deja los apegos y deja la confusión y vuela al espacio más allá de la ilusión. Dosi pura dosi naranyanosi samsara maya parivarci tosi samsara sulavanam rajamohar my jannah it's yours that's a soul. Run, desire, run, sexual being, running like a blade, tuned through the white conscience, one more hit, catered to the hollow, screaming, feed me, fill me, I gave, and the temporarily pacify this hungering so cruel. A beat of throat, dominoes of indiscretions down, falling all around, cycles in circles, constantly consuming, conquer and devour. 'Cause it's time to bring the fire down, right over this indiscretion, long enough to edify, permanently fill this hollow world. Screaming, feed me here, fill me again, and the temporarily pacify this hungeringness. So feed me here, fill me again, and temporarily pacify this